Coffee with the Editor is proudly brought to you by IRZ.
Thank you very much for joining me for Coffee with the Editor.
It's only a pleasure. Thanks.
And you've got some really exciting news. But before we start, I think just do a little introduction about who you are and what you do for those who don't know.
Right, thank you, Philippa. I'm Hannes Gräbe. I'm a professor at the University of Pretoria, and I'm responsible for railway engineering. So I'm in the transport division of our department, which is civil engineering. And I look after the rail issues and the rail teaching and so on. And I'm also responsible for two academic chairs that we have. The one is the Transnet Freight Rail Chair in Railway Engineering. And then the second one is the chair that is sponsored by the Railway Safety Regulator, and that is the chair in Railway Safety.
Fantastic. With the upcoming Railway Safety Conference, are you going to be presenting a paper?
I'm not, but one of my collaborators will be there, and I think he will be flying the flag of the university there. So there's some input that we're giving into that.
Recently, you were speaking about condition monitoring on the railway. It's from a digital perspective, from the physical assets as well. It's quite an exciting field to be in at the moment.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that rail would get exciting? What are your thoughts on this?
I see it every day now in my work. I have a research group of a couple of students that are busy with either masters and honors and PhDs, and they are super excited about the work that we are doing. It's as if this whole digital world is really talking to them. You don't even have to motivate them to get involved and to do the work. It's exciting to them, so they just take it and they run with it. So we have a number of projects that involves condition monitoring on track, because our focus is on track.
From the university perspective and your involvement in the two academic science in terms of the chairs, what kind of training and programs do you have running?
Right, so in terms of our training, we have short courses. And that would be like 3 to 5 day short courses that deals with multidisciplinary aspects of railway engineering. So we start with all the basics of railway engineering, from track infrastructure to rolling stock operations, train signaling. And those courses are presented throughout the year on various topics. Then we also have a couple of programs. So we have a program that's called the Railway Occurrence Investigation Program, where we look at safety and we look at the investigations on safety-related aspects. And that is a program that we run for Transnet, which combines a number of these modules together, and then the people who do this program get a certificate that they've completed the program. We're also busy now with a new program for the Railway Safety Regulator, which is probably going to be a postgraduate diploma in railway safety management. So that also incorporates various aspects of railway safety, and that is then what they can do. So that is programs for people that are already working and that are working in the railway sector. We have a big focus also on our undergraduates. So at University of Pretoria, we teach them in civil engineering about rail, so that once they start working, they know about rail and the various aspects. Okay. So that is more or less the focus.
But the R&D side, I think, is the most exciting.
Yes. We have to divide our time between those different things, and the railway research is very important. So from the university's perspective, research is what drives a lot of what we are doing. And the research also impacts on our teaching. So a lot of what we discover through our research and development really feeds into the teaching. But yes, the research keeps us busy.
Now that we've got to the research, let's talk about your latest project.
A couple of years ago, we applied for special funding from the NRF, the National Research Foundation, and that was a project between the Departments of Civil Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and then also Industrial and Systems Engineering at the university. And we put together a plan. At that stage, it was more like a dream, I think, because some people said we are crazy. But we put together a plan to basically put together a rail vehicle that will be able to do condition monitoring on road and rail infrastructure. We were successful to obtain funding for this vehicle, and we purchased the vehicle, and just a week ago we took ownership of this road rail vehicle, and we had it for its first test run on track, and everything is working well. So, but that's just the start of it, because the main focus now will be to start putting instrumentation on this vehicle and to get it ready for a number of research projects that the students and the postgraduates will be working on. And the whole focus is really on research, cutting edge research. So we believe it's a first for a university, at least in South Africa, to have its own road rail vehicle. And I think the equipment and the monitoring systems that we'll put on it will also be fairly unique.
From a cutting edge technology perspective,
Yeah.
what is it that you guys are aiming to find or do?
One of the projects that we have for this is the development of autonomous systems. So that would be a system that you could put on a revenue earning vehicle, on a normal wagon in a train consist, that will be able to measure various things. There's a need in industry to measure the response of the vehicle with regard to the track condition, and to do a lot of other measurements. So our first aim will be to get a system that will be able to measure the response of the vehicle and relate that to the track geometry and track condition. And we will have instruments on the axles of the vehicle. We will have instruments that measure movements, accelerations, those type of things. The vibrations of the vehicle, dynamics, the roll of the wagon, and the challenge of this, of course, is to power it, because it has to switch on and switch off automatically, and it has to use its own power either from solar or from generate its own power from the axles of the vehicle. There's various options, and then send the data from the wagon to a server where we can have online access to the data, real-time access to the data. I think that's where the big challenge comes in, because there's been a lot of development in terms of sensor technology, which is not so difficult. It's getting the data into the cloud and then start using it. The systems that we will develop will definitely find real application in railways, and we believe that we have a role to play in Africa. So all of these developments will be able to be commercialized and definitely be of use on a railway.
Do you think this will have a greater impact in terms of operators understanding the maintenance cycles? I mean, there's been lots of talk about doing like preventative maintenance or maintenance as and when, and now to the predictive side. I mean, the cost-saving aspect, I think, will be quite substantial.
Absolutely. One of the things that we are looking at in this project is the whole thing of creating a digital twin of the track, and to have systems with cameras that can look where people can't look, and where there's a lot of limitations for us. So if we do track inspections with the normal way that we do it while sitting on a trolley or walking the track, there's a lot of limitations to that. with this vehicle, we will have cameras on it. We will have LiDAR equipment on it that will basically create a digital world of the track that we can then take, and there's various things that we can do. We can go and sit in an office and re-look at it and do some analysis and detection, but we will be also looking at algorithms in terms of deep learning and artificial intelligence, where we will be able to detect things like a broken clip or a broken sleeper or missing clips. All those kind of outliers on the track that can be done by computers and machines that will help us in terms of our maintenance planning.
How do you think this is going to impact the jobs of tomorrow?
Oh, very significantly, very significantly. There's a lot of things that people are doing in offices today that takes a lot of time that computers can do. And with artificial learning or deep learning and artificial intelligence, we can automate all of these things. So we have a project where we are creating a digital model of the railway, and we will have algorithms that can detect various things on it, and that will be fully automated. So there's a specific impact and a very significant impact. What we also realize is that we will have a need for other jobs. So as some of these repetitive tasks are replaced by machines, we will need people with creative skills, with a very good understanding of the basic principles of railway engineering, with innovative thinking, to manage these processes and to come up with the decision making behind it. So I see a shift away from the repetitive work towards really understanding the principles behind the forces that drive maintenance and so on. So there's going to be a big emphasis and a need for people that understand the driving mechanisms behind track maintenance, track behavior, and so on. Because it's no use we have all these systems, but we do not know how to interpret the data and how to use it in models.
And also, what is the information that you want out? I mean, there's so much data.
Exactly. I think that's the big challenge. Everybody's talking about big data. What do we do with it? There's a big warning in all of these developments that we do is to close the loop and say it's very easy to accumulate 1,000 gigs or terabytes, whatever we want to talk about, to accumulate large amounts of data, but what do you do with it and how do you put it into a framework where you can work with it? So in all of this is our aim, to make sure that we can take the data, put it into a model and enable an engineer to make decisions and to assist in the whole decision-making process.
So if we take a step back, we've spoken about the impact that this will have on jobs of tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I also want to kind of, from an academic perspective, look at how this is also going to impact the current supply base. So companies that are already doing, the ultrasonic detection, the scanners, is there going to be a consolidation, or is there just like a big race as to who can fit everything onto one machine? And then we'll just add tamping and ballast cleaning. How is this going to impact the supply chain? Not just here in South Africa, but globally.
Yeah. I think if we look at what's happening is suddenly there's a lot of high-tech sensors and equipment that is becoming available for us to use. And the price of those things are also dropping as we speak. So it is really a challenge to make sure that you use the right type of equipment and the right sensor for the right application. But these things are becoming very, very, very affordable, and there's a danger of just plugging and taking everything and putting it on the same vehicle. So from an academic viewpoint, we are spending a lot of time at looking at what is it that we want to measure, what is the accuracies that we need. So we can purchase equipment that is super accurate to microns, but it just creates a lot of data that we have to then work with, and often systems fall down just because of it. So it's really of finding exactly the right type of equipment and sensors that will give us the answers quickly, because you can also spend weeks on looking at data, but we want to translate the information that we have into tools, into models. So yes, I think we are talking to suppliers all the time, and trying to make sure that they know what we need, and that they don't just dump whatever is available now on us.
And also, this has to answer a need. I mean, what
Yep.
you're developing from an R&D perspective needs to answer to a need.
Oh, exactly. All our projects that we are busy with are aimed at solving some problem in rail. So we are talking to Transnet, we are talking to PRASA and to Gautrain, and we are involved, I would say, on a ground level to make sure we understand what the needs are. Now, I know people would often say the universities are operating at a different level, they don't know what is happening in industry, and we realize that we have to breach this gap. So a lot of the work that we do, attending conferences and speaking to railway operators, would be to find out what are the needs. And we have to marry the need with research opportunities. So sometimes it's easy to solve a problem for industry, but it doesn't have a lot of research or publication value. So it's to marry those things.
And in your view, when you look at like the Transnet, the PRASA and the Gautrain, I mean, what will this address? Top of mind, what will this address?
Yeah, well, condition monitoring is the big thing that people are talking about now. And to automate these things and to prevent incidents from happening. So we need to know what is the stress state of the railway, where's the hot spots. We need to run over the track quite quickly and get a very quick and good idea of what is the condition and where are the places where we need to do emergency maintenance or preventative maintenance to program these things. So I think that's always, from a track perspective, a great need. The same applies to rolling stock. So what is the condition of the rolling stock? Which wheels need to be taken out, or axles are running hot? Those type of things. So it's equally applicable to the track and the rolling stock.
Okay. You were talking about bridging the gap between like the universities and like the PRASA Gautrain, Transnet aspect. But you guys also involved with heavy haul.
Yes.
So there's quite a nice international influence here, if I'm correct in my thinking.
Heavy haul is a big focus for us because we believe a lot of the development that finds its way into the rest of the railway industry really happens on the level of heavy haul. So we are involved with the South African Heavy Haul Association, and we are contributing to the organization of conferences, also here in South Africa. So if all goes well, next year, April, we will have a South African Heavy Haul Association conference where we will talk about these technologies. And you're right, this is a very good platform where we share ideas on what are the needs in the rail industry and where the new development should be taking place.
Okay, so talk to me about this test track that you're building.
Yes. So if you have a vehicle that can run on track, you need to have a test track. And at the university we have 3 short test tracks, but they are 30 meters long, each of them. So that doesn't allow you to do a lot of work. It served us well up till now, but the next stage and the next dream is really a test track that would be in the form of a Shape 8 loop that we will be able to run trains. So our preliminary design is a track section of about 2.5 kilometers, And we've already shared this dream with the industry because we want to, again, do this as a collaborative effort. The location has been set for the Hillcrest campus, which was called the experimental farm of the University of Pretoria. And there's a lot of space available, and we are busy with what we call the Engineering 4.0 building, which is a big project in collaboration with SANRAL and the university and the CSIR, where we are building civil engineering laboratories and training facilities. But in front of this building, there's a huge space open for this test track. So we've tested the industry, and it seems like they are excited about this possibility of having a dedicated test track where we'll be able to run short trains and vehicles on it. We already have buy-in from industry to sponsor some of the track equipment that we need for this project. So the test track will have turnouts, it will have level crossings, it will have different rail types, different fasteners, different sleepers. So we are aiming at creating a test track that will have the components that we are using at the moment, but then also a lot of future developments. So we will have normal sleepers, but we will also have composite sleepers and neo-ballast and new types of clips. So all the new things that people are thinking and researching on at the moment will also be there. Also in terms of signaling and track detection and so on.
Is the longer term view to be able to certify these products as a university?
It will definitely have an application in bringing in new equipment and demonstrating to industry how these things work, and to certify them, definitely. The laboratories that we are building will have also certification laboratories and accredited laboratories where you'll be able to test components and certify them for use. So there's a huge opportunity there also for that.
Hyperloop. I think, it's an exciting form of transport.
Yes. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's exciting. I think it's very futuristic. It grabs the attention, and even if it doesn't happen as we see it being portrayed at the moment, what it does, it brings in a lot of conversation and competition for rail, because for rail, Hyperloop is competition. It's competition for the airways also. So there's a lot of places where it really impacts, and it lets people think about how do we transport people more efficient and at lower cost, faster, that type of thing. And with things like Hyperloop, people are looking at new ways of powering and transport and energy use and lower friction. So it excites me to see things like that, and I think we should follow it and see what happens. But I think some technologies seem to be very far away, and before we blink our eyes, here it is. So I think one should not disregard any of these futuristic ideas, because I think there's a lot of value in the development of new things, from the technologies in terms of energy use right through to lower friction and things like that.
Fantastic. In general, your thoughts on the rail sector?
I'm excited about the rail sector. That's why I got up this morning, got out of bed. I really believe that rail is the answer to a lot of the challenge that we have in our cities. I mean, we can talk about South Africa, we can talk about worldwide, but here in South Africa, rail has to play a much bigger role than it does at the moment. We know about the problems that we have with our roads and the condition of roads. So we need to move freight to rail, and we need to do it more efficiently. And there's a reason why we've lost market and we need to get those things right. So everything we do at the university at the moment is really to promote rail. We're talking to our students quite a lot about this, and they come and they say, but next to our house there used to be a train that transported fruit or cement or something. Why don't we see those things anymore? So it's all about promoting rail, finding economic solutions and routes where we can transport, and putting rail back where it should be. So I'm excited about it, and I see a lot of other people similarly excited about it. There's freight, there's passengers. I think Gautrain has gone a long way in changing the perception of public transport for us, and there's new developments that will soon be happening in that field. But equally on the freight side and heavy haul side, there's a lot that we still can do.